Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Mohammed Rehan Yunus, known as the car gentleman. Is no ordinary 7-year-old. Mohammed Rehan Yunus is already making a name for himself in the UAE drifting scene. Competing against seasoned drivers, he secured 3rd place overall in the Emirates Drift Championship. Woo! Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh my God. Okay, first question. Do you have a driver's license?
No, I don't. I have a track license specifically for drifting,
Nice.
and I'm only allowed to drive on track, not on the roads.
Oh, interesting.
Well, what first got you into drifting? Why drifting?
So I've always been into cars. At the age of about 1.5 years old, I was constantly watching the Cars movie on repeat
that's so
all the
cute.
time. And then me and my father always bonded with cars because we always loved cars. As I grew up, he took me to car shows, we'd watch drifting there, and I would also see Ken Block on TV, and he was my main inspiration to get into drifting, as well as, Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift. That's why I got into drifting.
Well, what age did you start drifting?
So I started last year, 2023 November, when I was 15. And I got about 46 hours of training in before 2024 EDC.
Oh,
So this recent EDC where you won 2nd place in round 2, what was the most challenging part of the competition?
Of the competition, the most challenging part was in round 3, we broke the tie rod, and it was irreparable, so we couldn't fix it in time to get the car back on track.
Yeah.
So it was tough, it was challenging, and overall we learned a lesson. We need to tighten the tie rods next time.
Question for those who are not as car aware, what's a tie rod?
A tie rod essentially connects the wheel to the steering wheel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big part.
Yes.
So how did you drift around if you were...
So we broke it, so I couldn't go on track. After my first qualifying run, I broke it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I noticed something in the drifting championships. The cars are always run down. Why is that? Like, it's either broken or the tires, like, it's...
Because, so the cars, you're going high speed, you're going close to the wall, so sometimes the back of the car grazes against the wall, and the tires are spinning rapidly, so there's a lot of burnt rubber just sticking to the underside of the fenders. Also, in tandems, you're side by side with someone, so you're always constantly getting hit.
Yeah, so something...
Yeah, so something's bound to happen.
Have you experienced any mishaps or mistakes?
No, just the tie rod, really.
Alhamdulillah, nothing happened
Does
to
it
you.
feel like every time you're getting into a car that like this could go very, very bad?
No.
Is there like a direct threat to your life?
No, I keep it cool. I like to get in the car.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm very calm when I'm in the car.
That is so important though.
Yeah.
I would
like,
be screaming.
I would be so scared, but I kind of low-key want to be part of it, so... I want to get into a drifting car.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to get into drifting?
Inexperienced, no
Get a
experience at all.
simulator.
Simulator?
Yes.
But I don't want to drive. I want to be...
Start on the simulator. I started on the simulator about 3 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And I built my experience on the simulator. And then my parents took me to Pro Drift Academy just
Nice.
as a fun experience, We weren't planning to take it serious, but they saw how much I loved it, and they continued with it.
So you go to arcades and just start with the simulator there.
Not that kind of simulator. So you need like you need a more realistic simulator.
More realistic simulator.
Yeah.
So how do you balance, driving, drifting, being on track with being on school, and I'm assuming going out with your friends?
Yeah, it's
having a
tough.
social
It's
life.
tough. So when I'm not on track, I'm always studying. I'm either studying or I'm checking the car. Most of the time, it's studying. So last year I had mocks, GCSE mocks during EDC, and it was really tough.
Oh.
This year I didn't have much of a problem because I had one exam before EDC. So I got that over and done with, and then I just had a few mocks. So I was just studying for those as well.
That is such a hectic schedule. I don't know how
Yeah,
you
how
do
do
it.
you
It is. It's hard.
And which grade are you in?
I'm in year 12 now, so I'm
Year
doing my
12.
A-levels.
Which is not an easy grade.
It's not an
at
easy
all.
grade, yeah. Have to think about college now.
Yeah, I do.
Or
So
we're thinking
would
about
you
drifting.
study here, or would you
I'm planning to go to the UK.
Oh,
Hopefully,
okay.
yeah.
So how are you gonna continue? Do you have any plans as to like how you're gonna continue?
So when I go to university, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with the drifting. So I'd either take a break or I'll start it over there.
I think you can still start it over there.
Does
It's a
the
nice
UK
hobby.
have a drifting culture? I think they do.
It's mainly in Ireland.
Yeah,
it's
that's what it
based
is,
in
yeah.
Ireland.
And
In
Eastern
actually,
European, I think, right?
England, there isn't much of a culture, no. But if I were to go to Ireland, then yes, it's a huge culture. It's as big as Japan.
But you're doing your research, so like
Yeah.
it seems like you're getting. I'm sure it will follow you.
Keep it going. Don't
Very
stop,
well.
really.
Inshallah.
So question. So you're like the youngest. Like you have things to worry about, like exams. Whereas I'm sure like your fellow drifters are not.
Yeah, they're just focusing on the competition.
Yeah, they're looking at other
Yes.
things. So what is
Yeah.
it like? You know, do you speak to them? Do you get bullied?
No,
Do they,
I don't
like-
really get bullied. We're more of a community. We try to support each other, and it's all about having fun, really.
Do you ever feel intimidated because they're seasoned drivers?
At the start, I did. Last year, I did. I was intimidated. I was intimidated by the crowd, by the drivers. But this year, I was just focused on myself. I didn't really look at anyone, so I wasn't really bothered.
So you're just doing it for fun, or
Yeah.
You call yourself as the car gentleman.
Yes.
Why do you call yourself the car gentleman? What's the
I don't
meaning behind
know.
this name?
Really, it just stuck. I started the Instagram page a few years ago, before
Yeah.
the drifting and everything, and it just stuck. Really,
Just stuck, yeah.
it just
Okay.
stuck with it.
The car gentleman.
But I think that every drifter has a specific name. I heard the Angel, the Venom, stuff like that.
I'm not sure about that,
Yeah.
but I think it's usually just their cars rather than their actual
okay.
handles. Yeah.
So it's your name, not your car's name.
No,
No.
I've named the car Blaze.
Blaze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blaze. I have noticed this. A lot of people
Yeah.
name their cars.
Like the Venom.
Like even if they're not on the track.
Yeah.
Like just in general, they like to name their cars.
Yeah.
car.
So, what is, coming back to drifting, what is
Yeah.
one big misconception, like a stereotype that you've noticed? Like maybe your friends in school, what do they think about drifting?
They think it's just about losing traction and just flooring it, but it's not, and just using the handbrake, but it's not really just flooring it and losing traction. You need a level of grip on track so you can control the car instead of just ramming into the wall. That's one big misconception. Another misconception is everybody relies on the handbrake. Not necessarily. So there are multiple types of initiations. The handbrake is just there for emergencies, especially when you're tandeming, because it's
Yeah.
a quick thing. And it's all about throttle control rather than steering inputs.
Wow. Those are so many words I didn't quite understand.
Understand?
But, you know, that is very cool.
But correct me if I'm wrong. I know that in competitions you're not allowed to use the smoke, right? You're not allowed
What
to
do you
use like
mean?
have a lot of smoke around you because it can eliminate you, or the judges can't see what you're doing. Is it like a cheating
I'm
thing?
not sure about that. It's more on the car's power, how much smoke comes out, the car's power, the type of tires
Yeah.
you're on. I'm not sure about the judging in terms of that, but I don't think it should be a problem, especially in the Pro-Am category, which I'm competing in. The cars are very underpowered, so you don't really have to worry about that
Yeah.
too much. You just have to make sure the person who's gone before you hasn't left so much smoke on the
Smoke for
track,
you.
so you let the cloud of smoke clear up, and then you can go.
Okay. So
I'm hearing a lot of terms which I feel makes me feel like
need
physics
to.
might be your favorite subject.
It is.
is it?
It
Oh.
It is.
And
It's very important.
it's
yeah.
very important.
It is. To understand the mechanics of the car, to understand how the car will slide, the tire pressures, the tire compounds, everything plays a role into physics.
So
Yeah.
while you're like on the track actually drifting, do you actually have to like make certain calculations like in your head?
I just go for it, but the calculations are happening in my head.
They are
already-
happening.
Just been
It's just
so
organic.
fascinated by this kind of like brain.
Yeah,
How do you work? Like I see 2 + 2.
You
and
have
I'm
to be a
like,
little bit calculated when you're driving and drifting. That's what I think.
Yeah, because I personally cannot even drive on the road. So like I still don't have my license. I tried. It just didn't work out. So like, you know, It's very inspiring.
Very inspiring. Do
Thank
you
you so
encourage
much.
people to get into drifting?
It's hard. It's not
It's
easy,
hard.
but if you have a passion for cars, do it. It's great. It's fun.
And I bet your friends think you're so cool, right?
Yes.
How does your family and friends feel about your passion?
They're very supportive.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're very supportive. They're always by my side, my family. And my friends are really supportive as well. Alhamdulillah. That's all I can say.
The cool guy
amazing.
in the group, you know?
Oh, just the so last question. I mean, you already told us that you're going into like university soon, but before that, like before you actually make that step, any other plans, any other competitions? It's like your future. What are you looking at?
I'm not really sure, but for my future, I'm looking at automotive engineering or motorsports engineering because it does help in this field. And nothing much. I haven't really thought so much about it. The drifting, I just consider it a hobby because it's not something that's long term. It's
Okay.
not something that can make money. So I'm just thinking of it as a hobby, and I'm focusing more on studies, of course.
What advice would you give to young car enthusiasts that want to get into drifting?
Focus on studies, and if you want to get into drifting, simulators.
Simulators?
Yeah, they're the best.
Not go for it.
Simulators or go-karting.
Go-karting, really?
Yeah, go-karting does play a role into drifting, not as big as simulators.
Yeah.
I feel like simulators have a better effect because you're more experimental.
Yeah.
You can experiment with the car. You can just change the setup within minutes.
Get
You're
used to
not
the lane
afraid
also.
of crashing. So when you don't have that fear of crashing, when you're in the actual car, you're not very bothered about crashing either.
Thank you so much for coming, Muhammad Yunus.
Thank you so
Really,
much
the
for
car
having me.
gentleman. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annika. And this brings us to the end of the show. We go live every morning at 8:30 a.m. So please come tune in. Bye bye.